Let's take a deep breath, and we're going to start with mountain pose today. So mountain pose is from Hatha Yoga, also shared by Qigong. And the idea is that we lengthen up through the entire spine and stand like a mountain. So if we could begin this way, we might actually be able to think about our posture, our breathing, and the fact that when we lengthen like this, we really are feeling like a mountain. When the back of the skull lifts up as if being lifted by a string. And then when we feel our feet, we feel the length all the way down here. So in T'ai Chi Chih, 19 movements and one pose, which is being brought to us by Aquatic Park today, we start with a position here that takes us right into resting, and then to rocking motion. So now we're in a resting position. So from here, if we were to move into Qigong, we would be bringing T'ai Chi Chih, which is under the umbrella of Qigong, opening up our whole body to inhale and exhale. This slow exhale is what brings us best into something like Tadasana or mountain pose, because we're really inhaling so slowly and exhaling so slowly that if we were to come back to mountain pose, we would feel that we have also done some sinking and rising. So here's our rising. When our head comes really up as tall as we can, the chin is close to the chest, our cervical spine is connected down to thoracic and lumbar, all the way down to our low spine. You might even think about bringing your tailbone in and using a breath at the belly that connects you all the way through 3 Dan Tiens or energy centers. Your abdomen, your rib cage is here, but we call this our next Dan Tien at the heart and lungs. And the 3rd Dan Tien is the head. So when we do triple burner, we're moving through all 3 Dan Tiens with a breath and full alignment like we take from mountain pose. Exhaling down slowly. Inhaling up, really slowly, feeling the way this then can relax us as we slowly move down through all 3 energy centers. And without even thinking about it, we don't even realize that we've been breathing really long to come up to here on the inhale. And it's a really long exhale down, bringing us into a kind of restoral of the slowness that we need for T'ai Chi Chih once we start that. So that's our first Qigong move for the class. Our second one is Buddha picks up the earth. We start with the fingertips up here above the shoulders. We're in a circle here. Circularity is another part of T'ai Chi Chih. Down, then we inhale up. Then we turn the palms over and push the air up as if we're pushing up the earth. So Buddha, we are pretending right now we're Buddha, picking up the earth and sending it up in hopes for a better world. We reach for the sky. Notice how we're using our peripheral vision as we look up. We don't even have to lift our heads. We just see it go. Here's your inhale. Here's your slow exhale as it begins to push up the sky and the world. One more. Buddha picks up the earth. Our next move involves a side-to-side weight shift. So placing your thumbs on your hip bones and lengthening through your spine. Feel yourself move over here and over there. Just bringing the whole body over there to shift and the whole body over here to shift. Good. Now, when you get over to this right side for you, picking up a feather, lengthening through the other leg, release the heel over there, and sink that feather down on the exhale as you shift back over to this side. And pick up a feather over here on your left and release it down. Taking your time. Feel the breath come in. For the Qigong breath, it's a little bit different from yoga because in yoga, we keep our mouth closed and we inhale through the nostrils and exhale through them. In the Qigong breath, we release the jaw a little bit and the tongue is placed on the upper palate, the hard palate right behind the upper teeth. The jaw is released so that there's no tension in the face, and you might even feel a slight inner smile. Because frankly, after 3 years of the pandemic, I'm really happy I don't have a mask on right now. And I'm sure you are too. So enjoy it. We can breathe again. Picking up a feather and letting it go. One more on this left side. I'll be mirroring you today, so when I say left, of course, it's my right. And now inhale here to the heart, your middle Dan Tien area, and exhale down to the low Dan Tien at the abdomen here. Once more to the heart, and slowly down, almost like you're sleepwalking, as if you're in a dream. And then inhale up to the head and sink it down slowly through 3 Dan Tiens. Now you're moving down to the lowest one now. And when you get here, you can feel that there's some energy moving to the feet. So we call this resting on globes of energy. The other thing I want to bring from Qigong practice is the idea that we are, with our feet out in a V somewhat, riding on a horse. So it's rider on horse position here. When you do that and tap your heels, you can feel that vibrate through the body and take us into a full shake all the way up, which is also very Qigong. It's like, how do we release all of our joints so that when we move into a practice of Tai Chi mixed with Qigong, we don't bring any tension to it. So just let yourself go. Maybe even make a weird noise like ah, or oh, ooh, yeah, any vowels you can think of. If there's nobody around to hear you, be free. And inhale here, and now we're going to sink it down through the earth. As we move through the various joints, I'm going to skip a couple today. Let's come to the shoulders. Inhale the arms out and up, but we're just keeping the fingertips on just inside of those shoulders and inhaling forward and exhaling back to release the shoulder blades down the back, but maintaining our long spine here. And watch your chin, it should be parallel to the earth. And now we'll go back, up, forward and down, and that feels different. But be aware of how you open the chest as those fingertips seem to circle around the shoulders here, because the elbows, everything's working together. And that's what we want for our Tai Chi Chih practice. We call it synchronicity. Fancy word for everything's together, breath, movement, and mind. Okay, our next thing we're going to do is the accordion. This is for widening the ribs. It's a lateral expansion. And exhale back. We're still doing Qigong. It's just all readying stuff for Tai Chi Chih. Breathing in here, expanding that rib cage, and exhaling back would be a contraction. So this would be a slow expansion. You feel the breath come in more and more and more, and now this would be a slow contraction. You feel this whole area sort of cave in. Yes, see if you can not cave it in, but feel that you can keep the spine long. Keep the spine long, and that will force you to breathe through your belly. One more. Good. And exhale down. Our next item is a forward and down posture. So be careful with this. You're going to fold forward from the hips, placing your hands on the hips with a flat back. So you're folding forward from the hips, not from the waist, but right from here. Flat back. Inhale. Just go part way. Good. Now inhale back up. To do a full forward bend, you need to be able to fold forward from the hips with a flat back and then round the back as you go over and touch your toes. You don't have to do all this, but if you want to, join me. Inhale. Fold forward from the hips, flat back. Now round the back and release the fingers. Hope that worked. Come back up slowly, maybe touching your body the whole way. And now open up here, and this will turn this into the fountain. So keeping your feet somewhat wide here, not too wide, but just you still want to feel your heels solidly there. Inhale here. Bring the backs of the hands together, the palms right there, open towards the outside. Touch the floor. Inhale up. And now you're a fountain. Inhale. And exhale, bringing the backs of the palms together and fold over. One more. Inhale, open. Do this as slowly as you like. And slowly exhale, folding forward from the hips with a flat back, and then rounding the spine on the exhale. And one more slow moving fountain. Inhale. Fold forward from the hips, flat back, round the back, and release the fingertips. And now you're going to bring your hands to the inside of the calves, okay? And tap all the way up to your groin, and then down the outsides of the legs, and back to the insides again. And you're still using that fold forward position, so be careful. And then coming up to the belly, tapping your tummy, moving back towards your buttocks, and then moving down your legs on that back side and back up the insides, and coming up to just underneath your breasts here, tapping across there, and perhaps coming back here towards the Mingmen area, making gentle circles with your fists to the right and then to the left, circling around that tailbone. Good. And that's great. All right, let's tap here at the lung point, right under your shoulders there. And right here, the collarbones here are really important in yoga. So just massage those for a moment. And that'll also usually help you open up the chest. So massage there. And now massage up here on your trapezius muscles along there. Shoulders. Where we sometimes hold a lot of tension is right in this area. And then dropping your chin towards the chest, roll this right ear to the right shoulder and halfway around like upside down rainbow, and then to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Couple more times. Might clasp the hands behind the back, making sure that you hold those shoulders down. And then if you're comfortable doing a full circle when you next reach the right side, start over there and start going up and around. When you're going up and around, if you need a support in back, you can bring the shoulder blades up and back if you like. It's a good way of testing if you've had shoulder connection to the neck and head and injuries. A lot of people do this. It's like having a cushion back there for the head when it drops back. And when you come back to center with the chin towards the chest, go the opposite direction, towards your left and around. If you don't need that cradle for your neck, you can remove it and just clasp the hands and keep the shoulders down. Everything can be modified to fit our body. And we need to be open about that. Okay, now we're going to bring the arms out into a T and circle forward. Good. And now circle back like you're lying on the water and it's summer and it's beautiful and the water's warm. You're swimming backwards. Good. Now coming down to your hips with your feet in rider on horse position, you're going to come forward with the abdomen to the right side, back, and to the left side for a circle. So take it slow first. So you're hitting all 4 points. You can place your hand right at the Dan Tien point here, which is the center meridian here. And you're just 2 inches below the navel and 1 inch inside for the center point of the low Dan Tien. You can carry that point around. And then you can take it the opposite direction. Forward side, back side. And we're just opening up the connection between the low spine and the hips. Good. Let's stand again here. And we're going to do a spinal twist, but we're going to do it through knocking at the gates, which is another preliminary Tai Chi Chuan move. So as we do this slowly, you're going to bring your right hand over and tap here, but you'll need to release the back heel to do this to go any farther. So I would release it. Knocking at the gates, tapping at your buttocks. And this is bringing chi or energy to the skin, the fascia, the blood vessels. So it isn't just internal chi, it's external also. Good. Now bring it up to your center body right underneath the rib area. You have to really lengthen the spine for this, and you'll be tapping your kidneys and back. You don't have to reach back there, but if you do it and it's easy and you release the heel so that you can let go, it's a beautiful feeling of freedom, kind of like being a kid. All right, now you're going to come up here to tap at your lung points here and keeping it kind of soft but rounded, the hands free, not really banging too hard. And then let it go. Shake it out all over. Good. We have one more left to do, and that's for our Tai Chi Chuan circles. And that is, you're going to bring your knees together, your feet together. You're going to hold on to the knees here and circle. Probably right to left here first. And then going in the opposite direction, left to right. And 5 and 5 is good. Okay, now you're going to slowly lengthen through the legs, come down and touch your ankles, come back up. It's a little bit hard to balance here because we don't have our legs very open, so I would open them again. And now come back to mountain position. And we're ready for Tai Chi Chih. We'll take a few slow, deep breaths here in mountain position. So we'll take this from yoga too. Bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to the heart. And inhale, abdomen, rib cage, upper chest. Exhale down, upper chest, rib cage, abdomen. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, do that 3 times. Last one. Full breath, abdomen, rib cage, upper chest on the inhale, raising the collarbones, exhaling down slowly. Upper chest, rib cage, abdomen. Bring your hands out into mountain pose with the palms forward. Standing like a mountain. Very important as we move into a moving meditation that comes from the heart. Tai Chi Chih. Rocking motion. Forward, up, back and down. Feel circularity, the figure 8 here, as you pick up energy from the earth towards the heavens and sink it back down. Recycling your air. Rocking motion is a forward, back, up, down weight shift. As you inhale forward, your heels will rise. As you exhale back, your toes will rise in front. That's because in the middle, there's a little bit of sinking. The knees let go just a little bit, and then they straighten again without locking. Both in the back movement and in the front. In the middle is where you sink a little bit, just like a rocking chair. Last one of rocking motion. And sink it through the earth. Each of these movements in Tai Chi Chih comes to some number of 9. So our next one is bird flaps its wings. And we inhale here, lengthening the spine. And as we sink, the heels rise. And it's a 3x3 move. Inhale. And sink. Bird flaps its wings. Feet are in a V. Inhale back to rise. Sink. Rise on the inhale. And then the third one, when you sink and your heels lift, there'll be one wrist circle forward, like a bird learning to fly. 2 more cycles of 3. Last cycle of 3. Bird flaps its wings, comes to a graceful conclusion. Inhale here and release. And double ground it. Bringing the energy to the heart on the inhale and sinking it into the earth on the exhale. Twice. We'll do it one more time. Taking our time is the art of meditation. All right, our next move is going to be involving a forward back weight shift. So we'll come back to our alternating sides here with our energy. Yawn leg over here, then yawn leg over there. Feeling the shift. When you next feel it on your right side, prepare to lift, to release the left leg out. Straight leg in front, heels dropped. Slightly bent leg and back, yawn, front leg is yin. Around the platter in chest high water. Celebrating circularity. The circle always returns to our heart, inhaling out towards me and exhaling back away from me. Good. I'm just relating to the use of Zoom here because Zoom allows us to feel this forward shift on the inhale towards me. And then I can feel you go away. Good, on the exhale, because I've got 2 screens. And that allows you to feel the feeling of sinking through it as you move back towards your back leg, because you're gliding through something in the center, maybe 3 milliseconds on the earth, and then the front toes lift. And when you come back, that's the toes lifting. When you go forward, one more on this side here. Oh, let's do another few here. Okay, that's good. Let's bring that left leg in. Inhale and sink it through the earth. Now we'll shift towards the left side to bring the right heel forward. Just the heel comes down. This leg is yin, it's straight. Around the platter right side. Taking our time. Notice how it comes back to the heart here on the inhale. And then we shift back and the exhale comes back to the heart too. Starting and ending at the heart. The purpose of all meditation is this kind of circularity thing. So it's very unifying to the circulation of the body and the mind. Two more. Inhale and sink it through the earth. Double ground it. Unless things happen like a blackout, I don't usually double ground, but after the right leg, I always double ground because it keeps my mind aware of what I'm doing because I'm going into parasympathetic nervous system when I'm doing this practice. It's very grounding, but in meditation, we're not necessarily there. All right, now you're picking up a ball and sending it around. And this is around the platter variation with a ball on the inhale. And here you exhale back. And you're on your left side now, so we'll only do one grounding after the left side. This practice has its ancient roots in Taoism, so if you watch how slowly things move in nature, like a breeze blowing a tree, when it's not a gale, the flutter of the leaves, the way it astounds us with the beauty of the light. This practice tends to help us see better, feel better, hear better, become more aware through the slowness. Around the platter variation, closes the left foot now. We inhale slowly, sink down to exhale. A single grounding now. Shift over to the left to release the right heel. Around the platter variation, picking up a ball of energy at the shoulder here at your right shoulder. Sinking it right opposite your heart and lungs on the exhale. It's back. The slowness of the inhale and the exhale has to do with the energy C at the abdomen. If you really take a long inhale here and drop that there, you'll feel the exhale moving you back. And the inhale moving you front. And the knees are hardly dropping, but they're certainly involved. Everything is involved here. That's called synchronicity. We'll call that 7. 8. And when we really get going, it's 9 on a side. Good. Now sink it through the earth. Inhale first. And now we'll double ground that one. And our next move is bass drum. In bass drum, your palms are in polarity, which means that there's energy points right between the middle of the palms. And as you sink them down, it's going to make a drum all around your body. So here you inhale and here you exhale those elbows back. And that will bring energy all around you in a big circle. So that's your bass drum. Sinking down to ground first. Then we shift toward the right to bring the left heel forward, allowing space between the heels so that they don't cross over and put you off balance. Inhaling towards me. Exhaling back. The back foot is in a 45-degree angle to the front. Try your Qigong breath. Just release the jaw a little bit. The tongue will automatically kind of hang out there, right near the upper palate. Maybe a little inner smile here that will cause the muscles around your cheekbones to lift a little bit. That also helps. Three more. Notice how the rim of the drum, if you think about it, the fingers are right on the edge of it. And let the chi move into the fingers now. Surround yourself with that beautiful energy of the chi in a circle. Even the elbows seem to draw back the hips on the exhale. Last one coming up. On your left side. Good. Draw the foot back. Inhale to ground it one time. Bringing the energy to the heart and then down towards your feet, resting on globes of energy a moment while you shift to your left and release your right. Bass drum. It's so exciting to see you all getting this. It's great. So when we move with this kind of rhythm together, it's actually moving in community. It has the same effect that people find from singing in a chorus or singing a duet. Really takes you out of any gloom you might have. Brings you to another place, even on Zoom. Two more on this right side. Last one. And bring the right foot back, sink it through the earth on the inhale here. Feel the energy come into the body, and the exhale. Since we took that one all the way up to the head, drop this slowly down. Let's do it one more, all the way to the head this time. Through three Dan Tiens, three energy centers, we bring this breath on the inhale, and then we sink it down slowly into the earth on the exhale. Finally resting at the low Dan Tien on globes of energy that are in resistance to gravity right here. And then we prepare for our next move. Daughter on the mountaintop, followed by daughter in the valley. Left side. 45-degree angle on that back foot. Your left hand and mine is close to the heart as we come through two circles of energy that cross the wrists here with the left wrist behind, and the fingertips move from the heavens down. So they're straight up here. But because the palms are curved, they're part of that circle. Notice how we're beginning to move really slowly now together. The synchronicity, the continuity, the moving from the center, the circularity, the moving from the heart is shown right here, almost like a big Valentine. There's the heart, and here we cross through the center of it. The people that we love are on the outside of this Valentine, and our heart is on the inside. That's our left hand, which is already close to the heart, closer than the right side. One more. Bring that left foot back. Inhale to sink this through the earth and move towards the left side to bring your right heel forward. For daughter on the mountaintop, and your left hand will still be the one behind. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Inhale towards me and then exhale away from me. Good. That just means we're all gliding together through the center. Glide back, then lift the toe. Glide forward and now release the heel. Two more. Last one. Daughter on the mountaintop comes to a graceful conclusion. Inhale here and release down, preparing for our next move. We'll double ground this one first. Shifting over to your right, preparing for daughter in the valley. The palms are a little bit higher than the shoulders, because we want to make a full circle as we come through the middle here, through the valley on the inhale, checking that the back foot is in a 45-degree angle, and feeling the energy of the chi as you come up through the valley and we come forward, inhaling here. And exhaling over the tops of the mountains that we've just climbed. If we put all our stories together, we would see that we've all climbed many mountains already. To me, this is a celebration of that. Now we're coming through the valley on the inhale. And now we're seeing over all those mountains. Two more. Last one. Draw the left foot in for a single grounding that goes to the heart and then comes down through the heart to the abdomen. Sinking the energy into the earth, we shift over to the left to bring the right forward for daughter in the valley. Palms are just at the tops of the mountains here. Exhaling down and now inhaling forward. Two more. Last one of daughter in the valley. Bringing the foot back in to inhale and sink it through the earth. Double ground it. Our next move is carry the ball to the side. So we get to do our beautiful, fun weight shifts here. You're going to drop down here a little bit, pick up your ball over here, release your left heel. This foot is yan, this is yin or substantial on your right and insubstantial on the left. And now the idea is to bring the energy over here to the insubstantial leg and it becomes substantial. 2, 3. And now bring in the outside leg, lengthen through the spine on your rising and sink to exhale. Just softening the knees a little bit. The softening means that the knee's not going beyond the big toe. So not too deep on your knee bends. Next cycle of 3. Carry the ball to the side. On the third one, you inhale and release. One more set of 3. This way. Moving towards your right, to your left, I'm sorry. Beautiful. Bring the foot in. Inhale to sink it. Wind up over here towards your left. Release your right heel and move across 3 times through your weight shift. Then bring in the outside leg. Inhale and sink a little bit. Wind up and prepare to move to our second, carry the ball. Inhale, release. Third cycle of 3. Inhale and release. Let's do one more set going back to where we started here. Wind up, release your left heel and move towards it. And notice how your circles, this is circles within circles here, because you got a little circle here and then a bigger one. Bring in the foot. Sink. Wind up. You wind up from that sinking position, and then you don't have to really change it until you breathe in at the end of this. Now you inhale. Nice big inhale, straighten the legs without locking. Exhale. And third cycle of 3. Beautiful. That looks great. All right. We now go to our next move, which is push, pull. It's a forward back weight shift again. So on this one, I've been showing this recently because sometimes it involves relearning for me or for you. You're going to exhale down in this circle here. Fingertips, because the elbows don't lock, they come only so far, and then you come back up around a circle, and you embrace it here by bringing the energy back to your heart on the inhale. So this is an exhale forward and up, and then inhale back. So it's called push-pull. In other practices, it's been called giving and receiving energy. And you certainly do feel that it works that way, right? Here you exhale, here you inhale, and the energy comes back to you like you've given someone a gift of energy. All right, push, pull, giving and receiving energy. Shifting towards your right, release your left heel, and move forward. Move forward towards me, even though you're exhaling. This is so different. Good. Try gliding a little more through the middle. And now glide back slowly. And now release the front toe. Now when you get here, start releasing the back heel. If you release a little bit late, you get a real feeling of the grounding in the middle. Two more. Last one of push-pull on the left side. Great. Inhale and release it down to ground. To shift towards your left and bring the right heel forward for push-pull. Inhale first, and now exhale towards me. Yeah, it's real different. It's a reverse breathing move. Watch head position. I find that I want to bring my head forward when I'm moving towards you. So tuck it in a little bit so that you have a long spine there. Good, that looks good. Two more. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the foot in, inhale, and release. That was push-pull that we just did. And originally this was part of another movement, so it was companion, because the next one is not an exhale out. This is pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe. So we'll shift over to the right. Palms will be up like the opposite of around the platter, and we'll be going around a circle here as we pull in the energy from the farthest star in the universe through the fingertips. Inhaling forward this time. And exhaling back. And if you add a visualization, whatever you want from that most distant star in the universe, it's like an intention in yoga. It's like, what do I want to do this week? It's really special for people. Or for myself, some grand vision of helping others, whatever it could be, anything. Inhale and take it through your heart on the exhale here. Three more. The energy comes into the fingertips, which means the chi has reached our farthest extremities in the body, including the toes. So feel the toes and feel the fingers. Good. Now inhale here to ground it through the earth as we move towards the other side, first shifting to the left, bringing the palms up this time. Again, right heel comes forward, pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe with a long spine, the crown of the head, the back of the skull just being lifted up like it's got a point to the heavens here. That way, with the chin parallel to the earth, you really have that long spine on the inhale here. And you can feel the grounding on the exhale to your toes. Two more. Last one of pulling in the energy from the most distant star in the universe. We'll double ground this through the earth as we just finished our right side. And this comes like a symphony into a part of the practice that we move towards the taffis, which are fairly energetic. So I always have my students drink something here, water, a few sips. Hydration's important. It's beautiful to see you all. Our next will be the taffis. So we'll do a couple of groundings here before we begin the next part. This is basic taffy. And here with our taffis, we have pulling taffy variation 1, anchor, 2, wrist circles, and 3, perpetual motion. And all 3 variations are based on the first one, pulling taffy. Grounding, bringing your left hand under the right elbow. And this is what's going to happen as you bring out your left heel here. You're going to shift over towards your left and release the palms, which will cross, moving through heavy air or with resistance. And each one, we need to ground after we do it. When we inhale, we are doing the rising, and when we sink, we're preparing to pull the taffy. Each time when we ground, we feel the whole body inhale and then sink. In that sinking position, we start our taffy. Basic taffy will carry us through 3 variations once we do this one. I think you can feel this if you do a lot of exercise in the core. So here's your inhale, and here it moves through the core on the exhale, and the abdominal muscles are connected there and push in to bring the energy towards the Ming Men. So you want to ground yourself because it really enables you to connect and balance your feet better. Inhale here and now. Slow exhale as you feel the heavy air. Inhale when you finish this taffy, and then exhale to ground. And that all is very important for the senior body. We need to take more time to simply breathe and ground. Lovely, that looks great. And one more towards the left. Left hand under is your invite hand, inviting you over to the left. Inhale to ground. And our first variation will be anchor taffy, where your right leg will be anchored here as your left moves forward with taffy. You open the hips, and then it's basic taffy, taking you to the side with the left hand under. So there it is, part of the variation. Other leg becomes the anchor. Your left. And then the right hand pulls you over with the right foot to the right, the invite hand. And now it switches again. Other foot goes forward. Open the hips, ground it, and then move towards the left. And last one of anchor taffy, our first variation, comes to a graceful conclusion. Inhale and sink it through the earth. As we move into our second variation, circles taffy. sinking and rising, sinking and rising. And on the third sink, wind up and pull the left hand under the right elbow. Release the left heel out here and move this way. Inhale to rise. Sink on the exhale, and inhale again to prepare your circles taffy. Now we move the other way. Your right hand is the invite hand. Three circles here, two. The third one's kind of a half circle because it's a wind up at the same time, but you've sunk down so it makes it work. I've always thought of that as the conductor's baton, that little extra pull for the inhale here. This one. Now, now we do the full three circles. Here it comes. It's almost like the whole orchestra starts playing when the baton moves down in the right way. Now you're ready? Here we go. It's kind of playful. Here's the inhale. And we'll make this the last one of circles taffy. Our second variation comes to a graceful conclusion. Let's double ground this one. And now we move to our third variation, perpetual motion taffy with heel step. Ready? And it really is perpetual because the hand that was underneath now is the one on top, and you've got a heel step out here. Once you ground over here and come through the toes with the energy, then the other heel lifts. Like you flex that foot out here once you reach this toe. Yeah, flex it, drop the heel of the opposite foot. Or think Charlie Chaplin, the tramp. Those 20 movies where he really uses this beautiful sense of flexing his foot and dropping it as he walks. Last one here of perpetual motion taffy. We'll inhale, bringing in that right foot and sink it through the earth a couple times. All taffies, all four, have come to a graceful conclusion. As we move into our next move, working the pulley. Your right hand will be under the hip bone. Your left hand will be first. The left heel moves forward, and you're going to cross the body with this. So as this hand moves here, the other hand comes from behind to make a circle, almost like the crawl stroke in swimming. It would be a pretty heavy surf today if we were doing this. And you might want to swivel the feet. I do. I swivel on my front heel and I swivel on my back ball of the foot. So exhale forward, inhale back. The dominant leg now is your left. If you just keep hip, knee, and ankle together, the swivel seems to work. And one more here. And bring it back in. Inhale and release. So now let's look at the right hand here. As this right foot moves forward, you're going to move forward with an exhale. So inhale first, now move forward with an exhale. Good. Now as you bring that hip back, that's going to be your inhale. And the other hand's just kind of a companion hand. So here's your dominant hand, exhale. Now bring the hip back on the inhale. Yeah, then you'll be able to do the cross body business. Yeah, that's it. And you'll probably feel you're swiveling your feet a bit. Depends on what you have on your feet, but when we get together as teachers, we sometimes just make this a very short weight shift. Two more. Last one on your right side. We'll sink it through the earth. Here's the inhale. And here's the exhale. And we'll double ground them. We've done all the tappies. We've done the working the pulley. And now we're moving into the end of the symphony, which is more of a lento aspect to this. This is light at the top of the head, light at the temple. Come into mountain pose for a moment. Feet are in a V. Inhale, sink down with your palms. Bring them up to the back of the skull, which is where your temple is going to be. This is light at the top of the head. Your whole area here is the temple. And you're going to sink and rise. Now you're going to hold the energy there between the palms. Perhaps the elbows are out to the sides. And you're going to circle it. That's your light and mine. It's right over that crown. And now you hold it, inhale it, and sink and rise 3 times. Letting it go out on the inhale. Good. Bring it back to center again. Let's do this one more time. Sometimes it takes more than once. 6 to 9 times as we massage the Tao, that symbol of male and female and all the opposites. And then we hold that energy and sink and rise it again. And let it go out and into the earth in a big circle. Everything is so circular in this practice. Inhale your left hand to the heart. Sink the energy down through that central meridian. Slow exhale. And now bring the energy to your head, right at the temples, light at the temple, feet in a V. Sink and rise. Hold the energy. Now circle it. Fingertips are up as you circle. You're circling forward here. Now hold it. Breathe it in and sink and rise. Remembering your feet are in a V so that your knees can track over the big toes. That's really important. Let's bring it back again, once again. Good. Now bring it over, out and down through the earth. Bringing your left hand back on top on the inhale. And sinking down slowly with that air and with that breath, feeling it come through the whole body. We're going to come next into joyous breaths. So with your feet in a V coming up here, inhaling, coming to the balls of the feet and sink it down 4 times. On the third, drop the heels. Now drop. Another set of 4. Drop the heels. And the third set here of 4. Inhale slowly and release slowly. And we'll double ground it again very slowly. As we come into passing clouds, all things change. Feet in a V, and your left hand is down and your right hand is up. One faces the ground, one's facing towards heaven. And starting with your right hand, then your left. And the mirror hand will follow your face, but you don't really follow it unless you're outside where you can't help it because it's so beautiful. The sky, if you're in the city, maybe the skyline itself, whatever it is. We're surrounded by beauty, by parks that we can walk at, by a blue sky or clouds, whatever it is, it's interesting. Trees, grass, it's spring coming. For us in California, it's already pretty much here with all the water we've gotten. Whereas snow is other places. Then you have to dream about what comes after the snow. And that's part of passing clouds. All things change. And now let's bring it into a close here. Inhale to release through the earth. Exhaling slowly. Double ground it. Our next move will be 6 healing sounds. Very important in Chinese medicine that we start with the heart and end with the kidneys. Ho for the heart. Whoops. Hu for the spleen. Tsu for the liver. Sh for the lungs. Shi for the triple heater. And Chui for the kidneys. You'll start with your left hand and your left foot. Ho. Hu. Tsu. Sh. Shi. Chui. Ho. Hu. Tsu. Last one, 5 chewies. Heel step. Circling the energy of yin and yang, all the opposites, as we come into cosmic consciousness pose. Your left heel on your right ankle bone. A big circle here, lengthening through the spine, bringing your left hand closer to the heart as you make this circle, looking over the window of eternity and through it. Interlocking the fingers, bringing them overhead in gratitude. 5,000 years of Qigong, 6 centuries of Tai Chi Chuan, many types of Tai Chi, and the work of Wen Shan Wang, Chinese Cultural Center, and Justin Stone, who had been studying with him. And Justin came up with Tai Chi Chih in 1974. For which we are in gratitude. Thank you for your practice today.